Welcome to the very first episode of Ageplay Confidential. I am your host, Superbaby. Superbaby. You know, if I'm going to be doing this show, I think I need to call myself something other than Superbaby. Why, that is my alter ego. That is my diaper ego. That's what that is. And I should have a name, like Bill. Hi, welcome to Ageplay Confidential. I'm your host, Bill. No, but you know what I mean. Calling yourself, it's like The Rock call himself The Rock in the third person. Hi, I'm the Superbaby. Well, I mean that's my handle. That's my username everywhere I post, and so that's how you know me by. So I guess I'm just gonna have to call myself Superbaby or Super B, which is a lot of what some people like to shorten it. Super B. Superb, if you spell it out, because I am superb. But anyway, I'd like to say, first of all, thank you for taking the time to pop in here and listen to this very first episode of Ageplay Confidential. And this is going to be a weekly podcast. And I'm going to do a lot of fun stuff here, guys. So you got to listen on a weekly basis because I got to say, I am the tits. So what is this show going to be about? Let's talk about that first. Well, the show is going to be about some life stories, some of my life stories, some of my experiences. I'm going to give advice as well. So, I have a Gmail account, ageplayconfidential@gmail.com, where you can send in your questions for advice. So feel free to do that. It could be life advice, because I've been around the block, or it could be advice with the ABDL world, the community, interacting with people, because I have some experiences with that as well. I'll have interviews at some point when I really get good at this podcasting stuff. I'm going to have some interviews. I will be reviewing ABDL products and giving you my honest opinion of these products. And of course, sometimes I'll end the show with story time so that you guys can snuggle up in your beds with your stuffies and your passies and your warm bottle of milk and just listen to my voice as you drift off into sleep. All right, good. Well, first, before we get started, this show is probably going to be very short because, again, I just wanted to get it out there. I want you guys to know about it and, listen in. And hopefully what I talk about in the next few minutes, it grabs you. Really, I'm going to talk about myself because I think that's the first thing that you guys should know about is why me? Why am I going to have a podcast? What do I know? I know a lot. I'm a very smart man. No, I'm a very funny guy. I'm a very outgoing guy. And I love everything to do with this community. All right? It's in my blood. There are some people that you can see what products they put out or what content they put out, and it seems fake. It seems put on, and it seems like it's being done for the money. No, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the love of this fetish, kink, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. And it all started for me way back when. If I can remember, I was 5 years old when I first encountered or tried on a baby diaper. I believe it was the summertime. I don't know, but I was upstairs in my bed in my house while my mom and my aunt were downstairs in the basement sewing. My mom had a seamstress company type of thing. And so I was just, snooping around like a normal 5-year-old does. And I walked into my mom's closet and she had a box of Pampers. And I'm like, Pampers? My little sister's Pampers. So I was 5, she was 1, about that, a 4-year age difference there. So I was like, you know what? I want to put one of those on, right? So I went in, grabbed a box of Pampers, all white at that time, beautiful, all white. And then I proceeded to disrobe completely from top to bottom. So I was completely naked in my birthday suit. And then I taped these sons of bitches on. And I remember standing up on my mom's bed And on the wall in front of the mom's bed, there was one of those big mirrors, so I could just see myself completely. And I'm looking at myself, and I'm wearing a diaper. I'm like, okay, I like how this looks. I remember turning my back so I could look at my ass. I'm like, okay, this feels good. I don't recall how long I was standing there admiring myself when the phone rang. Scared the shit out of me. Scared the shit out of me. So, get off the bed, untape the diaper, and take it completely off, and then I answer the phone. Hello? It was my dad. Hey, what's going on? I want to talk to your mom. Okay, as I'm talking to my dad, I look down, and I notice that I have a little boner. I had no idea what that meant at the time. Now I do. But at the time, like, why is my dick hard? What does that mean? I don't know. I have to put these diapers away, and I have to go get my mom. I really didn't have time to think about it. But now, looking back at it, it's clear that was the day, the moment in time where this guy, Superbaby, was born. Well, maybe I was just a little baby. But you know what I mean. Like, that was the moment that I knew diapers were for me, right? And so I remember, very messily putting that diaper, folding it back up like a 5-year-old would know how to fold a diaper perfectly back up to put in the box. It didn't occur to me to just take it out and throw it under my bed or something. But I did that, and that was it. That was the very moment, the day that I knew bing, diapers were for me, right? Since then, I have tried to sneak diapers out, and I remember one time, and I don't know how far after that incident that this occurred, but I would go and I snuck and I took one of the Pampers from the box. And then I went into my room. My friend was over, my little friend. He was watching Mr. Rogers on the TV. And I was playing with my Star Wars action figures while I was wearing these Pampers over my corduroy pants. I remember this as well because this was the day I first got caught. All right. So sitting there playing in my corduroys, Pampers, whatever you want to call it. Friend watching Mr. Rogers on the TV. It's a vivid memory. And all of a sudden I hear someone coming up the hallway. They called my names like, your dad, your mom are home. They're coming home, or the garage door was opening or something. And so when I heard my aunt walking up the hallway, I panicked. And as she was trying to open the door, boom, I tried to push the door closed. Now, obviously, an adult is going to overpower a 5-year-old, no problem. As I was trying to hold the door shut, I was trying to pull off the diaper, with one hand. And it didn't work. She opened the door, and she saw me in my corduroys pants wearing these diapers, and she just started laughing. She started laughing. And I was so embarrassed, right? And then I'm like, please don't tell mom and dad. Please don't tell mom. What does she do? She tells mom and dad. And then they started poking fun at me, and the whole family, my older brother too, started poking fun at me. And that wasn't fun, Now, they were teasing, obviously, but for me, it was a major deal. For a 5-year-old, it's like, oh, my God, my world's going to end. And every time a Pampers commercial would come on, of course, they would always say, look, there's some Pampers. Do you need some Pampers? Do you want us to get you some Pampers? So that would go on for what appeared to be many, many months. But eventually it died down. And yeah, so I remember one other time going into Sneak to try to get a diaper. And then as I guess they heard, they were in the living room. So where my mom's bedroom was, down the hallway, you could see the living room. There was a seat. So my brother and my aunt were sitting there watching TV, and then I guess they heard me sneak into the mom's bedroom. And as I was sneaking out with the diaper, they looked at me and they shook their heads like, "Hey, come on, man." So I went and put it back. I got caught there. So that was getting caught very early on. That experience was, I wouldn't say it was traumatic. I'm here. I'm fine. I'm not fucking crazy or anything like that. But since then, I don't think I tried sneaking any diapers for a long, long time. I don't think it was until I was in my preteens where I started experimenting with plastic bags and things like that. I did end up becoming quite a heavy child in my early teens. Well, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I was probably at my heavier than I am now. I was an obese child, right? So I couldn't, for the life of me, fit into any sort of baby diaper, anything like that. I did not know adult diapers existed. And so I was like, you know what? I need to make something that I can fit into that'll help me. I don't know, I just wanted to wear a diaper. Pretty much that's all I wanted to do. And so so I experimented with plastic bags. I think we all try. I think most of us, maybe closer to my age, have tried to make diapers out of something, whether it's towels or putting something down your underwear or whatever. But I was like, no, none of that shit's going to help. I need to make a diaper, right? So, of course, you do the whole cloth diaper thing. I take some white bed sheets and fold it up a certain way and then try to put it on there. But I never had safety pins. So that never worked. I tried to maybe tie it, and that didn't work either. So one summer while I was home, I noticed a Pampers commercial was on. And at the end of the Pampers commercial, or close to the end of the Pampers commercial, they would show the Pamper diaper opened up. And then, where they pour that blue liquid on it. And you're like, hey, you see, this shit absorbs crap, So I was like, wait a minute. And then I'm like, wait a second. I saw that. I'm like, oh, I have an idea. So I waited. I just hit record, and I recorded all the commercials until the Pampers commercial came back on. And then when I recorded the whole commercial, and I stopped it. When I got to the point where they opened the diaper up and they showed it, I paused it. I'm like, okay, I see what we're looking here. So now I'm investigating. I'm inspecting the diaper to see what it looks like, so that I can try to mimic it somehow. And I saw that it had some like an hourglass shape, right? The diaper's got the flaps, and then it goes in a little bit and it comes back out again. So it's like an hourglass shape. I'm like, okay, got it. Hourglass shape. What can I use to get that shape? And of course, I've tried the, white trash bags that you get from a supermarket with the handles. Those are too small for sure. That didn't work. I tried punching a hole in the corners and putting it on. It wouldn't fit. So I'm like, all right, well, what else do we have? And I was looking through the kitchen, and I saw these, our, large kitchen trash bags. They were white. And I'm like, okay, I got it. White trash bags. Boom, check. I got the outer part good. And so now my thing was, how am I going to cut this into this hourglass shape? And so a lot of trial and error, obviously, but then I figured out, well, if I cut a half of the hourglass shape, starting from the bottom of the trash bag where the crease is, not where the opening is, but where the crease is. So if I go from the bottom and do like a half hourglass shape and cut that out, when I open the diaper up, right, because it was at the crease, the cut, it would fold, it would double. It would be a duplicate of what I did. So it would be like, boom, hourglass shape. It was a perfect size. Both ends matched in, symmetry and everything. Right? You got to picture this, I guess. Perfect. And then that took some trial and error, because I cut the hourglass too small for my frame. It'd have to go up a certain level up to my stomach and back and everything. So that was a little trial and error, but I got it. I got it down. Then I was like, okay, now what am I going to use for the insides? And first things first, you're thinking, a towel, a bath towel. And, I folded it up into a nice rectangular square, and I put it in the middle, and it was quite thick. Like, it was quite not working, because it's a terry cloth, and, it's not like smooth, and it's got those little, whatever you want to call them things. So it wasn't like a smooth, comfortable feel. Plus, it was way too thick. Like, it was way thick, So I'm like, no, that ain't going to work. So then I was looking around, and I was like, wait, I have a whole bunch of white T-shirts. They're cotton, they're soft, and I can fold them in any which way I want. So what I did was I took 2 T-shirts, right, using the upper part where the sleeves are and the neck is. I would fold that in a way where it would fit on the flaps of the diaper. Are you following me here? So the sleeves kind of extended out a little bit to where the flaps are to give it some coverage there. And then I would fold it in the middle, so that it would, be nice. It would just fit, right? I would do that on both sides of the diaper. And then here you go. So let's picture the white plastic is laid out, and then you have the two T-shirts on top. And I'm like, great. How do I secure these bad boys to the plastic? So I'm like, all right, let me see. I got some clear packing tape, and I could put half the tape on the T-shirt and half the tape on the plastic, right? So around the T-shirt, there was like some room for the plastic because you needed to have the tape. Boom. Got that done. Awesome. Perfect. Now, I knew already at this point that if I took another piece of tape and taped it to the front, it would just rip out. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just tape a diaper onto plastic, especially a white trash bag, and then pull that tape off, and then you ruin the bag. It's going to rip. So right off the bat, I knew I had to make a landing zone. So on the front of the diaper, I would take 2 or 3 long strips of clear tape, and I just put it right in the front. Boom, boom, like a landing zone, right? Like any ABU simple landing zone, that clear plastic in the front, that's what I made. And then on the side flaps, where I was going to put the side tapes, I kind of did the same thing. Like on the inner flap, I would put a few strips of tape, right? So that when I put the actual tape that I used to secure the diaper, I could easily tape it and untape it, tape it and untape it. Because these were not going to be used. These were just going to be to wear. And I wanted to wear them multiple times. So I knew ahead of time that whatever I could do to make these last for as long as they can, I was going to do, right? So it turns out that I made a pretty kick-ass disposable diaper out of white trash bags and white cotton T-shirts. Now, this is where I started experimenting with thickness. So you had the base T-shirts on the diaper, and then I would then fold a few more and put them in the middle for the thickness. And I got to say, it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to wear. Again, I was a heavier kid, and definitely couldn't wear baby diapers, but this kind of held me over. And for most of the summer times back then, that's what I would do. Eventually, though, I went and improved upon that design. And like I said, my mom's a seamstress. We had a sewing machine in the basement. And while fumbling around, I found some elastic. And I'm like, elastic. What if I experimented with this and see if I can get it to sew on the plastic? Because I wanted to know, can I sew elastic on the plastic? Sure enough, that fucking thing worked. So what I did was I kind of stretched out the elastic, and using the sewing machine very carefully, sewed it into the plastic. And then when I let go of the elastic, zoom, it bunched up. So I immediately went to work. I made a new diaper. Of course, by the way, I'd wear these diapers a few times until the shirts got funky, and then they had to be washed, and then I would, eventually the diaper would fall apart from overuse. So they would probably last maybe, I don't know how many weeks, a few, I wouldn't wear them all the time, but, they'd last a while, But anyway, I made a new diaper. I made sure to leave enough room by the legs so that I can apply this elastic. And then I did it. I sewed them on both sides, this elastic by the legs, and it bunched up. And I got to tell you, I must have fucking had a hard-on for days, because that was the key to making my disposable white trash bag diapers look as real as possible. And I was in shock. I was in awe. I was patting myself on the back. But definitely something that I was most proud of in my younger teens. And I did that for a while. I don't know how long I did it for. Probably until in my late teens, 18, 19, until I actually started going out and buying actual adult diapers, which happened around the age of 19. I was living on my own, with my brother, and he was always out. So I know there was like a Rite Aid, I believe it was, up the street from me. And I had a case the joint first. I didn't just go in and buy. I needed to do my research And I was like, let me see here. I walked up and down the aisles. I'm like, well, there's your Depends. Those are okay. And then I looked, I'm like, these Attends look white. And they look pretty good. So I'm going to go with this. Not with the Attends and not with the other brands that I saw, but the Attends look nice. So I'm like, all right, I'll buy them. I'll buy the larges. I didn't know what size I needed. I probably could have got mediums at that point. But I went and got the larges. And I only bought the diapers when there was an older lady at the cashier because maybe, she'd understand, But if there was a cute girl at the register, hell no, I was not going to go buy them. So luckily there was an older lady there. I nervously paid for these diapers. And I got the fuck out of there. And as soon as I got in the car, I opened one up. I'm like, I got to see what these look like. And as soon as I pulled one out, like if I was like, you could hear hallelujah. It was just like so. I'm like, I can't believe I'm holding on to like a legit diaper for my size. Like it was ridiculously weird holding it because for most of the time I was making them out of these white trash bags and everything like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I get to use them too. This is so great. So I rushed home and I noticed, these Attends had 3 blue tapes. I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to be doing some modifications. Like right off the bat, I knew I'd be modifying these diapers. They came up pretty, they were pretty, again, like I said, I probably could have worn a medium, but they came up pretty tall on my stomach, but I didn't give a fuck. When I put those diapers on for the first time, that cotton against my crotch, my powdered crotch, it was fucking heaven. Immediately I knew these are way too thin. I need to start doubling up. So I was doubling up pretty much almost from the beginning. The thicker they are, the better for me. And so that kind of was where I started my journey then into the world of adult babies. Again, didn't know too much about it at the time. All I knew is that I liked diapers and I wanted to buy them. And let's see, if I was 19, this is before I had a computer back in the day. This is back in the day. So I didn't know about anything on the internet about any of this. So this is just me, going out there willy-nilly, buying these things, not knowing anything else existed, thinking I'm the weird one and enjoying the shit out of this. So, and since then, I've, my stash, my equipment, I guess, so to speak, has grown tremendously. And I will be sharing with all that stuff with you in future episodes. But that's pretty much my life story. That's where it ends for now. I still do have a lot of other experiences and stories, other times getting caught that I will discuss in future episodes. But again, just wanted to give you a little background of what makes me tick, what it is about me that got me into this community. I'm a lifelong lover of diapers. This is in my DNA. It's not going anywhere. I am a true to heart age player. Some people might watch a show and they'll mention adult babies or diapers or one of the characters is wearing one, and then they're like, that's interesting. I'm going to go check that out. Nope, that's not me. I found out for myself firsthand, and I fell in love. And here I am, so many years later, trying to spread the love to you guys, right? And I thank you for lasting this long on my first podcast. Now, before I let you go, I wanted to plug some of my content that is out there. And this first plug is going to be my DIY page on Instagram. And this is an ABDL DIY page. That means if you wanted to learn how to make a play gym, I got step-by-step instructions on how to do that. You want a high chair and you want it to look good? I have some ideas for you. If you want to know what I use to make my crib, go ahead and check out that Instagram page because it's all there. And you too can have a nursery of your dreams for a fraction of the cost. Do you live with your family, or are you married to a spouse that doesn't want anything to do with it? This page, my friends, is for you. So go ahead and check that out. Hopefully you guys can benefit from the information that I put out there. Obviously, there's this channel, the YouTube channel, Ageplay Confidential. I have posted 4 audio role play scenarios, and it seemed to be doing pretty good. And so I'm going to continue to be doing that. But I will be making a Patreon, and I will start posting this stuff on there more frequently, and including the podcast. So this is a freebie, and maybe for the first month, the first 4 episodes, I'll post them here. But eventually, they'll go on Patreon first, and maybe it'll be exclusive to Patreon members for the first, week or 2, and then I'll post them and make them available for everybody else. Audio role play scenarios, if you have any, send me a message on my email, ageplayconfidential@gmail.com. If you want some custom audio role play or video, I can do that. Just shoot me a message there, and then we'll talk about pricing and everything like that. And lastly, if you want some advice from yours truly, a person who's been in the community for over 20 plus years, who's had his share of experiences, please drop me a line, an email at ageplayconfidential@gmail.com. And what I'll do is I'll take your email and I will read it on the air, and I'll give you my advice on it. If you want to remain anonymous, please let me know in the email, and I will keep your anonymity. But if you wanted a shout out, or if you wanted to plug your Instagram page, your Tumblr page, your Twitter, what have you, I will be more than happy to do that as well. All right. Well, you've made it to the end. Thank you very much for joining me. Gold star for each and every one of you. And next week, I'll come back with another episode. We'll have a topic this time, and we'll hopefully this becomes something that everybody can enjoy. And look, it is the holidays, so have a happy holiday. Have a safe holiday. Spend it with your loved ones. And next week, we will come back for more. All right. Well, thank you very much. This is Superbaby signing out.